Right, so we're back again. We're back presenting to you a very special programming, a special dedication to the men and women who really were featured in Intore.
We sank to the very bottom. Most observers considered Rwanda a failed state and predicted it would remain so for a long time. But for the people of Rwanda, that was not an option. And there was only one trajectory ahead. We had to move upward and do it together.
We are who we are because of where we come from. So our culture is what makes us who we are.
We made Intore with the initial idea to show to the world what is Rwanda. We wondered, how do we present Rwanda 20 years after the genocide committed against the Tutsi? How do we present the new face of Rwanda? I mean, Rwanda has got so many facets. We've got our incredible leadership that has transformed this nation, from rags to where we are. And I wondered, how do I show Rwanda to somebody sitting in New York or in Los Angeles or in Cape Town or in Zanzibar or in Kampala?
Last time I saw you, you looked like apocalypse, hell and then Genesis combined.
I embarked on a journey of telling Rwanda story of recovery, of renewal through the eyes of these young men and women who really passionately use arts and culture as the power of renewal. Literally the narrative here was the dance, was the joy, was the overcoming, but was also the trauma. For me, I believe cinema as an educational tool, cinema as a tool of transformation, as a reflection, as a mirror. So it's a psychological film. It's not just a film about entertainment. It's a journey that takes you to understand the thread of a country's narrative through arts and culture and history and politics as well.
All I had left to give of hope, I hope I get to find it again.
And while I was compiling all of that and coming together with a screenplay, with a plan, how to interweave all that narrative by showing as well the role of the leadership, I took the opportunity to discuss with my co-writer and my co-producer, who happens to be an Emmy Award-winning screenwriter and director, Charlie Neal. And she actually brought up the idea of suggesting Corneille Nyungura to be among the featured artists, in order literally to present that particular conflict. Because filmmaking is about conflict. Filmmaking is about the contrast. And that contrast was fabulous.
I'm a mixed Rwandan guy. My father was Tutsi, my mother was Hutu. It's in my DNA. I'm genetically conditioned not to be able to take sides. I'm genetically conditioned not to be biased, not on a purely ethnic level anyways, to take sides, because I can't deny my father any more than I can deny my mom.
When I sent the questions and Charlie Neal made the interview with Corneille, when I read the transcript, I had chills. I mean, I still have chills now by just remembering the entire transcript of Corneille. And Corneille is somebody I knew. I know personally his uncle. I went to visit him when he was still living with his uncle in Montreal. So we interacted, but not in full details, because with the level of trauma that most of the young men and women, or, you know, the entire Rwandan population. As an observer, as a psychologist myself, because I did psychology at school, I use cinema as an expression to explore and to present a psychological journey for a community and for a society. So by having Corneille into the film to complement people like Mighty Popo, Albert Brion, and all the others to really create a definition of our line of thinking on how we wanted to present Rwanda in a short period of time.
And from there on, I was a lost kid among others, trying to get out of. It wasn't even about getting out of the country. It was about getting out of those crazy, absurd circumstances, wherever I was going to end up. And I had no plan.
So we had a chance to have many other artists who presented to us that particular journey and that particular reflection. So here at the Inganzongari, we followed them into their training, we followed them into their rehearsals, we saw their challenges, we saw their laughters, we saw their sweat and blood and frustrations. I featured a few other musicians. You know, here you have Masamba, you have Jean-Paul Samputu, you have Maria Johanna. Ben Ngabo was just like exquisite. I mean, making Intore without Ben Ngabo Kipeti was just like impossible. In Los Angeles, we had a privilege to show it at the USC, University of Southern California, within the department of Steven Spielberg Foundation, called the Shore Foundation.
Fantastic evening with Intore, this wonderful film about the people of Rwanda, of beauty, of healing, restoration, and showing how powerful to the world this nation has become. And we're excited that this moment will embark funding, will embark distributors, will basically inform the entire world how talented a filmmaker we have with us. And we're excited for award seasons to come up, to be shown all over the world, and for this to be a household name. Let's make it a household name, everybody.
Yeah!
Let the beauty of Rwanda be shown to the world.
Yes, yes. Yes!
Amen.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Here, here.
The beauty of forgiveness.
The beauty of forgiveness.
Yes.
The beauty of human character.
Yes.
We hear a lot about the despair of human character. We should learn about the beauty of human character. The triumph of human character. So right here in the Lab Gastropub on USC's campus, we hereby declare this day to be the day that starts the train moving. And we have some fantastic conductors, and we need a lot of those who are willing to ride.
And the other element that actually gave me a lot of prestige and a lot of admiration and a lot of pride is when I showed the film at the New York African Film Festival. Mayen Bonetti, who invited the film, and the film was picked by one of the distributors who represent Afropop on PBS. So the film was actually shown on PBS in America. But most importantly, after that, the film also picked the interest from BAM, the Brooklyn Academy of Music. And, you know, I was very blessed to hear that the team from BAM made a trip to Rwanda. So they made a tour of most of the culture troupes that exist in Rwanda and all the cultural institutions. And they were also, they embraced Inganzongari and the expression that they had. And Inganzongari became the very troupe that went to New York and presented this incredible, dramatic piece of art that it brings in music, dance, and history.
Of course, rebuilding a shattered country is always a work in progress. We are not yet where we want to be. But with our limited resources and working in a difficult environment, we continue to work hard towards that objective. The progress achieved amidst considerable challenges suggest that these are ambitious but achievable goals.
We hope this journey will continue to show our culture, our history, our past, present, and future. So we want to invite you on this journey. We want you to subscribe, and we want you to be among our partners. So the train is moving, but you can hop on the train. We're not going fast yet, but we want you to be part of this particular movement. So it's your movement, it's Africa telling its own story. So if Africa tells its own story with dignity, you will also be dignified because you're part of this part of the world. This is the cradle of mankind. And I'm very, very happy to present to you Kwetu TV, and that was Intore. So watch the trailer.
Our tragic history is a repercussion of our loss of culture. It's like a tree whose roots has been cut.
We are living a new era of hope, an era of resilience, an era of a new generation.
The power of music can help this country to heal the wounds of the past.
Rather than building on what divides us, we build on what builds us together.